Welcome to our Data Science, Machine Learning, and AI course, your first step towards mastering the skills to become an artificial intelligence AI expert. Our current module is all about Python fundamentals. Check out the full playlist in the description for everything we have covered so far and hit subscribe to stay updated with new lessons and future modules. Today we are going to learn about control flow statements such as break, continue, and pass. Break, continue, and pass, these are the statements that are actually very important in some cases when you are using the loops, which we covered in our previous video. And if for some reason and for some conditions you want to interrupt or skip some part of the loop to not execute some operations, then you can use these control flow statements. And we'll take an example of this now. So break is a keyword, and while running a for loop, so in our previous video we learned that we can use the range, and range can actually generate the sequence of numbers. If we have not specified the starting value, then it will start from 0 and it will continue up to 9 because the final value is not inclusive in the range generation. So in the sequence that is generated, the final value is not part of it. And then what we have is a for keyword. Then we are iterating on each value in the range from 0 to 9 actually. And then we have a if condition where we say if space the variable I equal the equality comparison, which is a comparison operator we covered in comparison operators. And then we want to compare if I is equal to 5. And if I is equal to 5, remember a single equal sign is for assignment and a 2 times equal sign is actually an equality operator to compare if two values are equal. And if I is equal to 5, we want to break. We want to say that break the loop, do not execute anymore. If we run the cell now, we will see that it continued from 0 to 4. As long as the value reached 5, it has actually performed a break operation. And once the break operation is actually executed, the loop in which the break is executed, it will interrupt. And you can even see that it did not even print 5. And we only have values printed up to 4. Now, if I change this value to 7 and run the cell again, you will see that now the 7 is not printed, and anything that the value reached before 7, it has been printed. And once it is 7, it has actually exited the loop. But also we will see some other cases where we don't want to skip or exit, we just want to skip and continue with the rest of the loop operation, and we will see those statements as well. Now you have seen an example of break statement inside a for loop. Let's go and also have an example of a break inside a while loop actually. So here we have a very simple while loop where we say while true. So as you all remember, we need to specify a condition here which should be true, and true is also a Boolean data type. So you can also specify while true and it will keep on running. So the condition will become true itself. Now there is nothing that will make this condition false because it is a true value that you already have set there. Now you can actually use break as an operation to break out of the while loop. And this code is actually requesting a user input. We have the input keyword here, then parenthesis, and then we have a prompt where we say type exit to stop the loop. And if the user input is equal to exit is equal to exit as a string, then we want to print exiting the loop, and then we do a break, and this break will perform what? It will exit the loop, it will terminate the loop. And remember, once we actually exit the loop, the statement that was after the break in the loop will not be executed. So let's run this cell. So it is asking type exit to stop the loop, otherwise whatever I enter, it will print it as you entered. So I will say hi, okay, and how are you doing? I just actually have continued running this loop, and now I will say exiting the loop. Remember, once it has exited, and executed the break statement, this line did not print the exit. So remember, anything after the break that you have in your code in the loop will not be executed. That was the example when you want to actually exit from a loop based on a condition. That is where you can use break statement. There is another statement called continue, and that is also very nice because in this case you will not have to interrupt all the loop. You can only skip execution of the value for a specific condition. Now, for I in range 2 to 10, remember, if we specify a starting value, the loop will start from the first value, starting value, and the last value is not included, so it will have a range from 2 to 9. And if I equal 5, it means that if I is equal to 5, continue. What this continue will do, any code that you have specified after the continue statement, like anything that is inside the loop after this continue, will not be executed, and it will go to the next iteration of the value. So for example, when it reaches 5, it will execute continue, and this continue statement will tell it not to execute any other line of code and go to the next value, and the next value will be 6. So once this code is printing, it will print every value from 2, 3, 4, and once it sees 5, the print statement will not be executed because it will just skip it and it will go to 6. So let's run this cell. See, you have 2, 3, 4, but when 5 reached in the iteration, there was a continue statement in the if block, and that actually made this print statement to be skipped. And you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we have another statement called pass statement. Pass statement actually does not do anything. It can be used as a placeholder for some piece of code that you want to add. And if in some cases in your code, there sometimes you want to write a code, but you are saying, okay, I will do it later, but I just want to keep a placeholder there. So you can write pass there. So if I execute this one, nothing will happen. Even if I is equal to 3 is true, it has not interrupted the loop. So it was the same loop that we have tried before for I in range 5, going from 0 to 4. If I equal 3, pass. So you will be thinking, what else can be the condition for this? For example, let's do it in this way. If I is equal to 3, I don't know what to do now, but for the rest, for example, else I can just say, okay, I will decide what to do with 3 later, and just to be consistent, I will just have another tab here. So these blocks are consistent. Remember that either in the Google Colab, when you press a tab one time, it gives you a space of 2, and if you click it 2 times, it gives you a space of 4. In the normal system, when you are on a computer, mostly the tab has actually 4 spaces. So that is why I just corrected this thing. If you are using, either you use all of them to be 4, or you use all of them to be 2 if you are in Google Colab environment. But in actually scripting, in most of the IDEs, it is 4 spaces. So I'll just execute this one now. So you see, if I was equal 3, it did a pass statement, did nothing, and then if else like this. Or there can be another thing like that. I can just comment all this code. To comment all this code, you can actually press Control/, like you can just press this thing. And if you press these two, if you press Control and /, anything highlighted will be commented out. And now I can just write pass. So maybe the code that I want to write here inside the for loop, I have not decided yet, or I will do it later and I'm busy. I can just specify pass in the code, and even if the code runs, it will not bring an error because pass will not do anything. But if I do not write this pass, what will happen? So I just commented this pass again. Now if I try to run, it will give me an error that you don't have a code inside the for loop. So pass is very useful as a placeholder for your future code. And if I run it again, this time you will have no error. So yeah, These are the examples of these flow statements: break, continue, and pass. And in the next video, we will start learning about functions in Python. Please watch the next video so you learn more about these. Till then, have a good day.